It's been a decade since the last Dragon Age game, so let me start this video by saying no. You don't have to play the previous games to enjoy Veilguard. It is designed to be accessible for newcomers, but it is still recommended to at least watch some story recaps for maximum enjoyment. This is a single-player RPG and it's not open world. You play as Rook, and the game is set in northern Thedas. Since they have moved away from the open world style of Inquisition, they provided us with the Lighthouse, which you can imagine as our headquarters. This is the place where we talk to our companions, upgrade and manage our equipment, and of course select missions. Mission selection is done by using magical mirrors, called illuvians, to travel to different mission areas through something called the crossroads, which is basically like a separate dimension. The character creation is pretty deep. You can be a human, elf, dwarf or kunari, and choose between warrior, mage or rogue. The game has a faction system. Picking one of the 6 factions at character creation determines your background, but also has effects in the game. Firstly, it explains your history and how you meet up with Varric. You get unique clothing during cutscenes. Each faction provides 3 different buffs, and your faction choice ties into a reputation system and influences how the world is going to perceive your character. I will quickly show all 6 factions on screen right now. It's important to know that all your companions are shaped by factions as well, so you will still get to know the factions, at least to some extent, even if you didn't choose them. Speaking of companions, there are 7 this time, and they are a pretty diverse bunch. Still, you can only bring 2 characters with you when leaving your lighthouse. The romance options are pretty open. You can romance any companion regardless of gender or race. Different companions have different approaches to intimacy. It's also noteworthy that companions can fall in love with each other, not just you. Also, each companion has a different room that reflects their personality. The combat is much more action focused, almost like Mass Effect, but with fantasy elements. There's quite a bit happening on screen, but you can turn off some of the elements like the damage numbers and objective trackers if that's not really your style. You can't directly control your companions anymore. Instead, there's this tactical menu for giving orders. Each class has unique specializations that are basically subclasses of your chosen class. This is unlocked upon reaching level 20. There can only be one specialization active at a time, but you can reset your nodes to switch to a different specialization. Aside from that, there's also item progression that consists of upgrading your gear at the caretaker's workshop, and companion progression, where you can customize your companion's gear and abilities to complement your build. The game has 6 difficulty options and 1 custom difficulty called Unbound that, as the name suggests, lets you tailor the experience to your liking. And that sentence concludes today's video. If your time was respected, a like or comment is very much appreciated.